Hey traders, John Fortune here with this week's Weekly Forex Forecast for the 5th of November to the 9th of November 2018. As always, we're going to start off by looking at the US dollar index and oil before running through a number of markets, looking at the key levels of support and resistance in the process, and we're also going to be highlighting some of the targets that we're going to be looking for in the coming week and also in the weeks ahead. So let's jump over to the charts and see where the money is this week. As always, we're going to start with the US dollar index, but going into next week, something very important to announce is we have a special week coming up next week. We have the midterm elections in the US on Tuesday, and as a result, we could actually see a complete change around in the markets on Tuesday, and it makes it almost impossible before Tuesday to actually have any clear direction in what we're looking at in the markets. I did consider not doing the YouTube video this week because of that. However, I decided the best thing to do is to go through the markets so everybody can see the levels that we have going into next week. But we will really only be forming an opinion, strong opinion on the US dollar after these midterm elections are over on Tuesday. So we're going to run through the charts as standard, but we're going to be doing it without a strong bias on the dollar either way, which just means we will be showing the levels on their own merit and we'll be showing the individual currency pairs, how they're structured going into next week. And these levels, of course, can be used after the results of the midterm elections come out. So as we start the week above the key area of broken resistance, turning support at the 96.07, this is the area we'd start to look for bullish formations and patterns. We'll be looking technically for further advances up towards the next key area resistance to the upside and the target set of the 97.80. And if we can get a break through here, we're going to be looking up to the next key area resistance to the upside and target 2 of the 98.46. Now again, just to confirm, although we are technically structured to the upside, we are not going into next week with a bullish bias on the dollar. Because of the midterm elections on Tuesday, we will form our bias after the midterm elections results come out. Also, for website subscribers watching this video, we're going to go into more depth of what this can mean for the markets on Monday. So next market we're going to look at is crude oil. Now, crude oil has been a fantastic market recently. It's still declining to the downside, and as a result, we're still looking for further advances to the downside in crude oil. As we start the week below the key area of broken support, looking potentially to turn resistance at the 65.91. If we can get a pullback and we can get a retest of broken support, turning resistance at the 65.91, this is going to be a great place to start to look for bearish formations and patterns. And we're going to be looking at initiating shorts down towards the next key area of support to the downside and the target set at the 62.00. And if we can get a break through here, we're going to be looking down towards the next key area of support to the downside and target 2 at the 60.00. So the first pair we're going to look at here is euro dollar. Now we start the week at key broken support, turning resistance, the 1.14375. As a result, this is a great place to technically start to look for bearish formations and patterns, looking technically for further declines to the downside and the next key area of support to the downside and the target set at the 1.1214. And if we can get a break through here, we'll be looking down towards the next key area of support to the downside and target 2. At the 1.1119. So next pair we're going to look at is pound dollar. Now we start the week below and retesting broken support, turning resistance from the past at the 1.30190. As a result, this is a great place to start to look for bearish formations and patterns. And we would ideally be looking for further declines to the downside to the next key area of support to the downside and the target set at the 1.2667. And if we can get a break through here, we'll be looking down towards the next key area of support to the downside and target 2 at the 1.2588. Now you can see these targets are quite close together. When we have targets that are quite close together, it's very difficult to actually trade in between them. So all we do is we take this. You could consider this really just as one target where we have a more conservative target and a more aggressive target. So next pair we're going to look at is the US dollar Japanese yen. Now we start the week above and retesting broken resistance, turning support from the past at the 112.745. If we can get a pullback and preferably a retest of broken resistance, turning support at the 112.745, this is an area we would start to look for further advances in the US dollar Japanese yen. And if we get the right kind of bullish formations and patterns in this area, we're going to be looking up towards the next key area resistance to the upside and the target set at the 114.50. And if we can get a break through here, we're going to be looking up towards the next key area resistance to the upside and target 2, the 115.45. So next pair we're going to look at is the Aussie dollar. Now we start the week above key area of broken resistance, looking to turn support at 0.71071. If we can get a pullback, and preferably if we can get a retest of broken resistance, turning support at the 0.71071, this is going to be a place we can start to look for bullish formations and patterns. And we're going to be looking at initiating longs up towards the next key of resistance to the upside and the target set, the 0.7313. And if we can get a break through here, we're going to be looking up towards the next key of resistance to the upside and target 2 at the 0.7346. And again, you can see when we have them this close together, we can just consider this a conservative target and a more aggressive target. So the next pair we're going to look at is the New Zealand dollar. Now, very similar to the Australian dollar, US dollar, we have this momentum coming into the markets in the Aussie dollar and the New Zealand dollar. And for website subscribers, we're going to go through exactly why this is the case on Monday and also what this means going into the markets for next week. However, we start the week above the key area of broken resistance from the past, looking to turn support at the 0.65997. If we can get a pullback, and preferably if we can get a pullback and a retest of broken resistance turning support, this is going to be the ideal place to start to look for bullish formations and patterns. And we're going to be looking at potentially initiating longs up towards the next key of resistance to the upside and the target set at the 0.6719. And if we get a break through here, we're going to be looking up towards the next key of resistance to the upside and target 2 at the 0.6761. So next pair we're going to look at is the US dollar Swiss franc. Now we start the week above key area of broken resistance from the past, looking to turn support at the 1.00215. If we can get a pullback, and we're very close to it already, but if we can get a pullback and a retest of broken resistance turning support at the 1.00215, this is going to be an area we can start to look for bullish formations and patterns. And we're going to be looking at initiating longs up towards the next key of resistance to the upside and the target set at the 1.0098. And if we can get a break through here, we're going to be looking up towards the next key of resistance to the upside and target 2 at the 1.0170. So next pair we're going to look at is the US dollar CAD. Now we start the week above key area of broken resistance from the past, looking to turn support, already turning support at the 1.30695. If we can get another pullback and a retest of broken resistance turning support at the 1.30695, this is going to be a place we can start to look for bullish formations and patterns, looking at initiating longs up towards the next key of resistance to the upside and the target set, the 1.3174. And if we get a break through here, we're going to be looking up towards the next key of resistance to the upside and target 2 at the 1.3226. You can see we also have a third target to the upside, so if we manage to get through both of these, we will also be looking up to a third target towards the upside, the next key of resistance to the upside and the target set up here, the 1.3287. And last but not least, we have gold. Now we start the week above a key area of broken resistance from the past, looking to turn support at the 1208.00. If we can get a pullback further, and preferably if we can get a retest of broken resistance turning support at the 1208.00, this is going to be a place we can start to look for bullish formations and patterns. And we're going to be looking at potentially initiating longs up towards the next key of resistance to the upside and the target set at the 1261.19. So that is it from me for this week, guys. Just remember, going into next week, those midterm elections on Tuesday, it does mean that the US dollar is a bit up in the air until then. We are going to be mainly looking to take positions on the dollar pairs based around these levels, because these are the levels that we'll be using and I'll personally be using in these markets next week. We're going to be looking mainly towards that after the midterm elections. There's a good chance that not a huge amount happens before then. So just bear in mind that we may see a reversal of these markets on Tuesday. You can see already reflected in these markets, we have contradictions in the sense that some are strong against the dollar, some are weak against the dollar. They're structured in opposite directions. So it's just showing a lack of direction in the markets in terms of the dollar pairs going into next week. So bear in mind those midterm elections on Tuesday and make sure you're trading safely with good risk management going into next week. So as always, if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And a big thank you to everybody who does that on a regular basis. And a big thank you to everybody who is already subscribed to the channel so far. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. I hope you all have a good week next week, although it might be pretty tough next week. Don't forget to make sure that you're trading safely, especially with next week coming up. We also have an interest rate decision in the US. Make sure you're trading safely and you're using good risk management going into next week. So trade safely, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next forecast. Bye for now.